Vishanti akuto bhayam.
Bhakti yogena yogina Shrimaya padam Vishanta Mahomayam
Jnana Vairagya Yuktena
Jnana Vairagya Yuktena
Bhakti Yogena Yoginaha
Bhakti Yogena Yogina
Shemaya Paramulam Me
Shivaya Paramudame
Vishantiyakuto Bhayam
Pravishantyuktato Bhayam
Jnana Vairagya Yuktena
Jnana Vairagya Yuktena
Bhakti Yogena Yoginaha
Bhakti Yogena Yogina
Shemaya Padamulame
Shivaya Paramudame
Pravishantyakuto Bhayam
Pravishantyuktato Bhayam
Jnana Vairagya Yuktena
Jnana Vairagya Yuktena
Bhakti Yogena Yogina Shemaya Patamulame Pravishanti Akuto Bhayam.
Jnana with knowledge, Vairagya and renunciation, Yuktena equipped, Bhakti Yogena by devotional service, Yoginaha the yogis, Shaimaya for eternal benefit, Padamulam feet, me my, Pravisanti take shelter of, Akuta Bhayam without fear. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Yogis equipped with transcendental knowledge and renunciation and engaged in devotional service for their eternal benefit take shelter of my lotus feet, and since I am the Lord, they are thus eligible to enter into the kingdom of Godhead without fear. Purport. One who actually wants to be liberated from the entanglement of this material world and go back home, back to Godhead, is actually a mystic yogi. The words specifically used here are Yuktena Bhakti Yogena. Those yogis or mystics who engage in devotional service are the first-class yogis. The first-class yogis, as described in Bhagavad Gita, are those who are constantly thinking of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. These yogis are not without knowledge and renunciation. Become a bhakti yoga means to automatically attain knowledge and renunciation. That is the consequent result of bhakti yoga. In the Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 2nd chapter, it is also confirmed that one who engages in devotional service of Vasudeva, Krishna, has complete transcendental knowledge and renunciation, and there is no explanation for these attainments. Ahaituki, without reason, they come. Even if a person is completely illiterate, the transcendental knowledge of the scriptures is revealed unto him simply because of his engagement in devotional service. That is also stated in the Vedic literature. To anyone who has full faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the spiritual master, all the importance of the Vedic literatures is revealed. He does not have to seek separately. The yogis who engage in devotional service are full in knowledge and renunciation. If there is a lack of knowledge and renunciation, it is to be understood that one is not in full devotional service. The conclusion is that one cannot be sure of entrance into the spiritual realm in either the impersonal Brahmayoti effulgence of the Lord or Vaikuntha planets within that Brahma effulgence. Gornitai ki jai. Unless he is surrendered unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, the surrendered souls are called Akuto Bhaya. They are doubtless and fearless, and their entrance into the spiritual kingdom is guaranteed. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Yes, Maharaj has.
The Bhakti Yogis, can you hear? The Bhakti Yogis are the real yogis because the ultimate goal of yoga is to have loving devotion to Krishna. So all the other types of yoga, such as Hatha Yoga, Pranayama Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, these types of methods are steps or on the steps on the ladder leading up to Bhakti Yoga. But one who's engaged in Bhakti Yoga, he's already achieved the highest stage of yoga, because you can understand that the idea of reaching the Lord through jnana means knowledge, and knowledge means, in the Vedic culture, it refers to knowledge about transcendence. So they have the idea about transcendence in that yoga process, and they can understand the Hum Brahmasmi. Hum Brahmasmi means I am spirit, but that's as far as it goes. So with that understanding, they're not really even equipped properly to free themselves from the entanglement of material energy, because it's not sufficient. Avishuddha Buddhaya, their intelligence is not purified. Therefore, they can fall down, patantida. Whereas the Bhakti Yogi, his intelligence is not impure, it's pure. Because he knows that the living entity can never become equal with God in all respects. The impersonalists think that they can become God. Not only become equal to God, they can become God. And sometimes they address one another as Namo Narayan. I offer my respects to you who are Narayan now. But that's not correct. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. That's a clear statement that it's not that when one reaches a stage of perfection, then he becomes God. An ordinary living entity becomes God. That's not acceptable. And Krishna never said that. It's true that the living entities have the qualities of the Lord to some degree. It's taken that out of so many qualities that the Lord has, he can hold some of these qualities. It's like out of 64 qualities, the living entities like Brahma can have 50 qualities, or 78%. But they don't have it completely. In other words, one of the qualities of that the Jiva soul can have is that he can run or manage or design a universe that's extraordinary. Amongst Jiva, ordinary living entities, that's extraordinary. But still, it cannot equal Krishna's, his ability to manifest universes, because he manifests universes without even as much as any energy at all expended by him. And he can put forward billions of universes of the material world and the spiritual world, and not be reduced even in the slightest. So that's one point. The bhakti yogis, they have all knowledge because they know Krishna. If one knows, yasmin begate sarvam etam begatam bhavati. If he knows Krishna, he knows everything. There's nothing further to be known. So he doesn't have to go on and on speculating, trying to find out what's beyond Krishna. That's what the impersonalists do. They think, well, we're all spirit, we're all Brahman, but the Brahman is unlimited, and therefore we must go beyond the personal and go into the impersonal. That's their speculation. But that's never correct. Actually, the personal is the feature that is above the impersonal and the localized. The supersoul in the heart is the form of Vishnu. And Vishnu is an expansion from Krishna. But Krishna himself is the source of all the universes and all the incarnations. Ete Changsha Kalapungsam, Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam. Indriyari Vyakalam Lokam Midyante Yuge Yuge. He's the source of all the demigods and all the avatars, the incarnations, and all the different aspects of everything is coming from him. So if one knows that, what further is there to be known? Therefore in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, by all the Vedas, I am to be known. There's nothing further to be known. And that doesn't mean that God is limited. They would get confused and they would say, well then it can't be God, it can't be the Supreme because if it's God it must be unlimited. No, but why can't God be unlimited, including his personal feature? If someone thinks that God's having a personal form limits him, that's a limitation in itself. That means he doesn't understand what unlimited means. Unlimited means his form is unlimited and his impersonal form is also unlimited. He has all these characteristics unlimitedly, for one of his names is Ananta. And in the Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma says that the Lord has unlimited forms, Ananta, and all these forms are coming from Krishna. Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam. So, the impersonalists like to consider themselves Vedantists or Gyanis. They refer to themselves. And they refer to the Bhakti Yogis as sentimentalists. They think that the Bhakti Yogis are not full in knowledge. But actually that's incorrect. If you look at the example of some of the great Bhakti Yogis, for example, Brahma. Brahma is the topmost Bhakti Yogi, and he has all knowledge. Therefore, his Brahma Samhita is accepted on the level of Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. That means it's on the level of books written about Krishna or God and by him. Therefore, when there's a debate between the Gyanis and the Bhakti Yogis, the impersonalists and the personalists come out victorious because they always have the answers because Krishna gives them the answers. Tesham Sattva Yuktanam Bhajatam Priti Purvakam Dami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yena Mama Puyantite. For those who are constantly devoted to me, Krishna, in love, I give them the knowledge by which they can come to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Very nice. Always good. Nice nectar from our hearts. The yogis equipped with transcendental knowledge and renunciation are engaged in devotional service for their internal benefit. Take shelter of my lotus feet. And since I am the Lord, they are thus eligible to enter into the kingdom of Godhead without fear. Yeah, Bhakti is saying, Bhakti Yoga is the supreme yoga. All these other yogas point to it, you know. In this day and age of Kali, we don't have time to go through the whole process of all these other yogas to finally get to Bhakti Yoga. We need to start with Bhakti Yoga. But many people come to Krishna consciousness. They're devotional service is not the first thing on their mind. Sometimes some come, take shelter of Krishna consciousness because of other reasons. Devotional service wasn't the foremost thing on my mind when I came to Krishna consciousness. I was looking for the highest pleasure. I heard they had it here. I had tried all kinds of other things in life, I had made good money, I had a wife wife once before. Smoked a lot of pot, did a lot of drugs, drank a lot of alcohol, was always trying to indulge my senses all the time. But it was always empty. At the end of the day, there was nothing there. I was always still wanting more. So that's what actually dragged me into Krishna consciousness, not so much the devotional service aspect of it. That developed later. But this concept that there's this pleasure, there's some sort of fulfillment that the material world doesn't have. There's this treasure here. I had to find out what it was. So many ways we got to realize that, especially in today's world, age of Kali, we have so many lost jivas out there, so many lost souls that are suffering. Many of them are in the same boat I was, that were just, trying to find peace, trying to find comfort. They may not exactly know that they're looking for devotional service, but we gotta let people know that we got something real here. We got something that's tangible. We got something that fulfills it. We have something that gives you everlasting peace. Bhakti Yoga is definitely the highest form of yogas. As we get absorbed in the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is something we got to absorb our minds into. 16 rounds. That's just the starter. We have to have a good 16 rounds. We have to put our time and effort into it to where we're having our full awareness on the mantra alone. These thoughts are going to always arise. Our mind is always going to try to rebel, saying, oh, I don't want to do this. I want to do something else. I want to go watch TV. I want to watch the Super Bowl. I want to watch, I want to smoke cigarettes. I want to, smoke marijuana. I want to drink alcohol. I want something else. The mind is always going to be there trying to rebel. But every time that your mind is rebelling, you have to bring yourself back to the Maha Mantra. Gornitai ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. I wonder what's for breakfast today. Oh, my thoughts just wandered to bring myself back to the mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Wonder what time I'm going to go to bed tonight. Oh, my thoughts just wandered. I got to bring myself back to the mantra. You got to do this over and over and over again. You got to keep your awareness in the present. When you were chanting the Maha Mantra and these thoughts occur, don't follow the thoughts. Just immediately acknowledge, I'm getting distracted. I got to bring myself back to the mantra. Because this is a training of the mind. This is how we get absorbed in the Maha Mantra. With time and practice and dedication, you can turn your mind from being your worst enemy into your best friend. Because the 16 rounds is just the beginning. You take this throughout your day, in your seva, you same practice. As I'm washing pots or I'm cooking something, I'm chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. And whenever a distracting thought comes in, I recognize it, it's there. I bring myself back to the mantra while I'm doing my seva, while I'm doing my service. And it takes time, it takes practice, it takes time and patience. And taking shelter of the Guru, being fully absorbed in. Prabhupada brought this wonderful experience over to the West. Here with, the International Society of Krishna Consciousness, what he has developed here, it's so amazing, it's so awesome. Time I get up in the morning, the time I go to bed at night, I have something to do. I can engage myself in Krishna consciousness. I have service to do. I have books to read. I have deities to look at. This is just pure nectar here. But so many, beginning devotional service can seem like poison, can seem very bitter. It's the complete opposite of the spirit of the material world. In the material world gives you nectar right up front, gives you a little bit of sense of enjoyment right up front. But it quickly vanishes. Poof! By the time you catch it, poof, it's gone. You got to go after it again. And with the material world, the more that you chase after it, the more that you get, chained to these sense enjoyments, the more it becomes a vice. And more of that vice becomes suffering. And that suffering becomes the poison in the end. But Bhakti Yoga is the complete opposite. Bhakti Yoga in the beginning is your mind is rebelling. It's saying, no, I don't want to do this. I want to be somewhere else. What are you doing? We've got more important things to do. Look at all these material things out here. Mind is rebelling. That feels like, bitterness at first. But we're here to take control of the mind. And the best way to do that is through the Maha Mantra and the devotional service. Getting wrapped up in the Maha Mantra. Getting your chanting down is where it's at. And taking it with you all throughout your day. Because as you gain control of the mind, where the Maha Mantra is the natural resting place for your mind to be in. When you're falling asleep at night, if you're hearing the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If you're hearing that naturally, you're making great progress. Because our natural resting place of the mind in the material world is on material things. It's what I'm going to do tomorrow, what I'm going to eat, what I'm going to see, who I'm going to talk to. It's all kinds of things that our material senses are pulling us to and fro. But when we train our mind to be rest in the Maha Mantra, everything becomes peaceful. It starts becoming blissful. Things that were once mundane tasks, cleaning, sweeping the floor. Sometimes, the tasks that take, sometimes a few hours to do were the most irritating in the material world, because your mind was saying, hey, I want to do something else. I want to go after the sense gratification. I want to watch TV. I want to listen to music. I want to eat food. And when your mind is resting in the Maha Mantra and you're doing your service, cleaning becomes very blissful, becomes very peaceful, becomes very fulfilling. Doing dishes becomes very fulfilling. Cooking becomes very fulfilling. Bhakti Yoga is where it's at. And there's so much nectar. We got to remind people that there's so much nectar. We got this treasure here in Bhakti Yoga, in devotional service of the Maha Mantra. And there's nothing else in this world that I want. You can put all the marijuana in front of me, all the alcohol in front of me nowadays, all the greatest foods in front of me. I don't need that. I just want my beads. I just want my prasadam. I want my guru. Because there's nothing more fulfilling. Any questions or comments? Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So in the purport, Prabhupada was saying that the Bhakti Yogi is not bereft of knowledge or renunciation. So you were describing that practically in your own life. There are some verses which go with this. So in chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna describes how if we just hear him, Tat Shrinu, then he'll describe that knowledge by which we don't need to know anything else. And this is actually connected with the Shikshastakam verse 1, how this Harinam Sankirtan, as you were mentioning, the chanting of the holy name is the essence of all education and knowledge. And Prabhupada referenced the verse in English in the purport that in connection with our devotional service, our chanting of the holy name, we've been initiated into that chanting by the spiritual master. And if we serve the spiritual master, Yasya Deve Parabhaktir, Yasya Deve Tataguro, Tasyaite Katita Yarta Prakashante Mahatmana, that if we can actually have implicit faith in the Guru and Krishna, then all the imports of the Vedic knowledge are revealed. And the example is Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. He was actually an illiterate person, but he understood the Vedic scriptures completely perfectly because of the quality of his bhakti. So if we don't have perfect knowledge, or we don't have perfect renunciation, then that means we're actually lacking in our devotional service. So if we're still being tortured by these ghosts of material desires, then we can understand that we have not yet reached the point of perfection in bhakti, so we can take shelter of those who have, and by their mercy we can make advancement.
Thank you, Prabhu. So let's all pray to Gaura-Nitai, for Gaura-Nitai to increase our devotion to him, to increase our desire to make Krishna our greatest desire in this world. Make it the desire greater than all these material desires. That's how we progress in bhakti yoga. Please forgive me for any offenses. Please pray for me. I'm just a fallen servant. Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.